I didn't really put an awful lot of thought into what I'm going to talk about today, if I'm being completely honest. It was sparked a little bit by some Facebook posts that I've seen yesterday, which I may or not have got a little bit annoyed about. But literally, I just remembered them about 5 seconds ago and thought, oh, I'll talk about that. Last week, it might have been the week before, I was talking about people who are too busy and too important to look after themselves. Or so they think anyway, because they are not thinking of long-term strategies and they're not thinking about the positive effects on your business of looking after yourself, of which there are many. Got some good case studies coming up actually at the moment. I've got a few people who are, 2 people in particular that I'm working with who are having some major benefits in their business just from changing their health habits, basically. Max Silver, good morning, how are you? If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anyone else? It's very profound this time in the morning. Did talk about self-love a little bit the other day. I'm a big fan. Not the candles and bubble bath type. That's what I'm saying. So I thought, because obviously I'm trying to get to these people, right? These entrepreneurs and business owners who think they're too busy and they haven't got time to look after their health. So I have to think of various different strategies for that. So one of the things that I talk about to people, if they, because some people come to me, they're very defensive. Oh God, don't ask me to do this. Don't ask me to go and leave my desk for half an hour and go for a walk. Yeah. So they're all a bit kind of defensive, right? They're all like, I haven't got time to, have 20-minute break for lunch. I haven't got time to go for a walk, all of this kind of stuff, right? So it's no good me saying to them, hey, do you know what? If you just do as I tell you, JFDI, mate, JFDI. That's how I used to work in the corporate world. If it's no good me saying to them, if you just do what I tell you, I promise you in 6 to 8 weeks, you'll start to see some benefits of your business. They're like, fuck that. I haven't got time for that. So I have to try and think of alternative ways to get them to do what I want. Ninja mind tricks, right? So one of the things I get them to think about is, what kind of leader do you want to be, right? Because business people, entrepreneurs, they, for the most part, want to be inspirational, right? They want to have a tribe of people who follow them, who believe in their message, that they can positively impact, right? And also, if you've got employees, right, you need to be the person that they look up to. So if you are not looking after yourself, if you are stressed out to fuck all of the time, if you're not sleeping properly, you're going to be a dick, basically. Like, believe me, I've done it, right? When I worked in the corporate world, I was a bitch. I was horrible to work for. A, because I didn't want to be there. B, because I wasn't looking after myself, because I was drinking and being a functioning addict of varying sorts, because I didn't like myself or my job. And that made me behave like a dick, right? I managed multi-million-pound projects, but I don't think I was a very inspiring leader because I wasn't looking after myself. And that made me tired. It made me irritable. It made me prone to starting arguments and stuff, right? And worrying about stuff that didn't need to be worried about because I was just stressing about everything. So if you're not looking after yourself in your business, if you're tired, if you're irritable, if you are letting the shit that you see on social media get to you because you're not managing your stress properly, you are not being an inspiring person. If you're the person who's always on Facebook pouring your heart out about how fucking shitty you feel or how stressed you are. I mean, definitely, like, if you're stressed, ask for help. If you've got the right kind of, people around you, if you're in some good Facebook groups with people you trust, that's the place to kind of ask for help, right? But when there are people constantly on Facebook moaning about how shitty they feel, how stressed out they are, I can think of examples that come to mind, right? I see the same people on Facebook asking the same questions all the time. How can I get more done in my business? Like, I'm so stressed out. Why am I working all the time and I'm not doing anything? These are people who slide into my DMs on a regular basis and ask for my advice and never follow it. So, you're not being an inspiring leader. You're not, if your employees or the people that follow you on social media see you doing that all the time and not actioning advice, just moaning, not doing anything about it, that's not an inspiring leader, right? So if you can't be asked, or you don't feel like you are worth taking care of for yourself, then you should do it to set a good example to the people that follow you or the people that you work with, right? And believe it or not, I know that you're going to be really shocked now. I've got some scientific studies to support this. So there is a guy called Christopher Barnes who has done a few studies around leadership in the workplace and with entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And he actually proved in a scientific study that sleep-deprived leaders are less inspiring, right? They're less charismatic. They are more prone to sort of not being able to build relationships properly. So they're more prone to kind of expressions of hostility, right? So when you're trying to form a new relationship with someone, whether that's personal or professional, expressions of hostility are incredibly damaging, right? Because this person doesn't really know you. All they see is this quite hostile, stressed out kind of person, and that puts them off straight away. It's really damaging to trying to form new relationships, trying to network, trying to get your business and your face out there, and those expressions of hostility, they come from sleep deprivation or not managing your stress properly. So yeah, sorry, this is not particularly well thought out today. I was just thinking about actually what prompted it is somebody sliding into my DMs asking for advice that they'd asked about 2 months before and 3 months before that, and someone who always comments on my posts in a kind of negative way, saying, oh yeah, but I can't do that because of blah blah blah. You can do it, you're just not prioritizing it. And if you're one of those people, just be aware of how that comes across. If you're wanting to be a leader, if you want people to believe in you and your message and follow you and take your advice, if you are being that person who is wearing your stress and your long working hours and your sleep deprivation as a badge of honor, don't look that good, mate. That's all I've got to say about that. What's going on in the comments? Zach Lacey, I did not say that you have to manipulate people into doing what you want. Did I say that? Do I do that? I do that sometimes, but I'm okay with that because I do it for their own good. So if I know I can help someone, I might be a little bit sneaky about how I get them to do the thing that I want them to do, because I know it's going to have a good end result for them. Team Insomnia. Liam, what is with the insomnia? It's a really, like, I suffered from insomnia for years and years and years, to the point where I became addicted to sleeping pills, Zopiclone. If anyone is taking Zopiclone, do not take that long term. And it took me 3 years to wean myself off them, and it was absolutely horrific. So I'm definitely not saying that insomnia is not a really bad issue, because it really is, but it is possible to sort out. And the number one thing that you need to sort insomnia out is discipline, unfortunately. You need to be disciplined, Liam. No, I'm joking. It's discipline. You have to look at your what you're doing before you go to bed. You need to have a look at the times you go to bed. You need to be very disciplined. I recently worked with someone who had quite bad insomnia, because I'm a certified sleep science coach. Just thought I'd drop that in there. But they, you know, we had to do things like, you know, bed is for sleeping, right? Sometimes other things if you're lucky. I'm single, so that's all I'm saying about that. But your bedroom should be for sleeping and other activities that are appropriate in a bedroom setting. So things I would do with this person, not in their bedroom. If they wake up in the night, so Liam, if you wake up in the night with really bad insomnia, don't lie in your bed. Get up, go and do housework, go and do something menial, go and, you know, do something non-stimulating. I could talk about this subject for a long time, but Liam, just know that I understand insomnia after having probably sleep problems for about 10 years and weaning myself off sleep tablets. So I know it's not a small issue, but it can be sorted out. My sleep is generally pretty good now. If you want some help with that, slide into my DMs. Having an office in the bedroom isn't ideal. It's not, is it? We've all had to do a lot of things that have been less than ideal, haven't we, during lockdown? My office, I'm using the term lightly, it's this, is in my lounge, because I live in Brighton where things are expensive. So I've got a tiny, it's not tiny, I've got a small flat, but my office, if you can call it that, is in my lounge. And that is not ideal. Like, I would like to have my lounge for relaxing, but I can't, so I need to get over it. But yeah, definitely when you work from home, having boundaries in place in terms of when you start, when you finish, where your work is, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, like in the bedroom, it should really be for sleeping and anything else you're lucky enough to do in your bedroom. Definitely no TVs, no work stuff ideally, but you know, we can't have it all, can we? Your insomnia is much better than it was. You haven't taken a sleeping pill in some time. That is awesome. I would encourage anyone who is taking sleeping pills to make it as temporary as possible. And you sleep through the night. There you go. You're going to be an awesome leader, Liam. What are you talking about? Oh, yes, that's something that I do generally at lunchtimes, Ed. So my garden is basement level, so I live on ground level. My garden is basement level, so at lunchtime I will quite often go down the steps and stand on my lawn for a little bit, have a cup of tea. Good for you, isn't it? Anyway, I've started digressing and talking about all sorts of crap now. So today's message is, if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, leader, employer of any type, if you feel like you're not worth taking care of for yourself, do it for the people who look up to you, so that you're not tired and irritable and shitty to work for. You know, make sure that you're inspiring and putting a good message out there instead of being a moany little dick. We all have days when we wake up and think, I want to be a dick today. I get that quite often, right? But try not to do it if you possibly can. I started talking about cat shit and dicks now. I think it's time to leave, don't you?